Welcome to the Shoegazing podcast. I'm Jesper Ingevaldsson of shoegazing.com, one of the leading blogs in the world on quality shoes. In this episode, we will put the spotlight on the thriving boot and shoemaking scene in Indonesia. And we do this together with Emil Rahmana Putra. He is the founder of the two brands Winson and Midas Bootmaker, where the first now is making the finest fully handmade dress shoes in the country, a true premium product of absolute top quality. While Midas focus on more affordable, still excellent handmade ready-to-wear and made-to-order workwear boots. The company I work for, Skolyx, has been collaborating with Emil on a range of ready-to-wear Midas boots. And in recent years, there are many around the world who have discovered the huge scene of especially workwear boot brands that comes out of Indonesia. The tradition of making boots by hand goes back to when the country was a Dutch colony. And today, the traditional shoe and boot making, as well as other types of leather craftsmanship, are relatively large industries for Indonesia. As you will hear, Emil Rahmana Putra is one of those obsessive souls that we have in the shoemaking world. We talked about how he ended up in the shoe industry and managed to build two successful brands, about how he to a large extent actually is a self-trained shoemaker, about his view on the success and challenges for the Indonesian boot and shoemaking scene, and much more. So enjoy the listen. All right, Emil Rahmana Putra of Winson and Midas. Welcome to the Shoegazing podcast.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you for having me in this podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this chat. We've been working a bit together with the Skolyx and Midas collaboration. So, but we mostly text on Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah. It's nice to finally sort of digitally meet you for real, so to speak. So, I mean, as always, I thought we'd start a bit about sort of the background for you and for the company. Mm-hmm. And I know that you studied informatics engineering, but then ended up in the shoe industry. So how did that come to be?
Well, it's quite interesting story actually. Back to 2014, when I was still in the university, I found a small shoe store on a roadside when I went home from my campus. And I decided to stop by to look inside the store. And instead of having decided to get a pair for myself, the only things on my mind was only how to sell their shoes. It's because I was jobless, but I need to find a way to pay my rent and to live in Bandung. So that's the first time I'm selling shoes, and that's the first of everything in my shoe story.
Yeah. So you sort of opened your eyes to the shoe world visiting this store. Why did you then end up starting making shoes yourself?
After a month selling the shoes from the store, it ended up some customers complaining about the quality, the clicking quality, material, sole glue spotted everywhere. But that's what you got when you spend like $20 for a pair. What do you expect? It's really a cheap leather shoes, but people like to complain. And then it's not stopped there, and then I tried to find a better craftsman to make shoes for my customers.
Yeah,
and that's the first time I visit Cibaduyut in Bandung, where I learned a lot about shoemaking. The product quality is better, but it's still not up to my standards.
Okay.
So I just started build my own workshop in a car garage. So I can control everything in my place, and then I get some money to rent a small house for a better workshop in the following year.
Yeah.
And then start making better shoes together with my team.
And from who did you learn the craft, so to speak? How did you learn it?
Well, actually, I learned a lot from internet.
Okay.
Google helped me a lot, and shoegazing was the most visited blog at that time. I learned a lot from your blog.
Cool.
When you have a discussion about shoemaking, about Yohei Fukuda and Hiroya Nagimachi, there is a lot of picture on the post, and then I learned the process by seeing the pictures.
Yeah. Cool. And what was the main challenges setting up the workshop?
It's challenged me to train my team, because most of them are only making handmade cemented shoes before. And also, since I only learn everything on my own, I don't go to shoemaking school. I don't join a shoemaking class, and sometimes it's difficult for me to explain to them about the process, about the details, and what to do and what not to do. That's the most challenging when I start my workshop. And for now, the most challenging part is to keep the consistency of the product, the discipline.
Yeah. And you've had sort of a continuous development of the shoes you make through the years, from starting with like workwear boots. Can you tell us a bit about this evolution? When I'm first time in this industry, I have no reference. A lot of local brands are only making work boots. This brand and that brand making same style. For me, at that time, it's really boring. Okay.
So I start learning more on the internet. What is, when I read a lot the shoegazing blog, I found that the dress shoes making is more challenging, and I learned a lot by reading for a couple months, and I never found a local maker making this style of shoes. So
yeah,
I think I need to start it in Indonesia. So yeah, cool. That's the first time I introduced Winson Grander line.
Yeah.
Making dress shoes with fiddle bag, blind welt, and yeah, that's the evolution of the brand. So,
yeah.
But after years, I don't think offering two different style of shoes in the same brand is a good idea, because some customers are become confused. What is Winson?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. That's why I split the brand, and I have Midas Bootmaker now, which Midas is actually the producing the first time Winson product.
Yeah, exactly. You sort of restarted from where you began with Winson, now with Midas. Yeah. And today, Winson and Midas are mostly done by two separate groups of craftsmen. Is that correct?
Yes, separate team, especially between MTO and the ready-to-wear collection. Also for MTO, I split that for Winson and Midas. So every people in my team have their own character.
Yeah, and how big are the groups, the workshops?
Well, for MTO, only 4 people, including me.
Yeah.
And for ready to wear are 5 people, including me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that big,
No.
but big enough.
Yeah. And which business is biggest today? Is it Winson or Midas?
If we are talking about a business side, Midas have a better business than Winson.
Okay.
Considering the production capacity, we can't make a lot of dress shoes every month.
Yeah.
But making a work boots, it's easier.
Yeah. Because you have really increased the standards of the Winson dress shoes over the years. It's been quite interesting to follow and see, from when you started, it was, not the most refined making, but you've really improved over the years, and now it looks really, really well made stuff.
Well, there is still a lot of space to improve in the product, actually. And I keep trying myself and my team to do better on every new products we made.
Yeah. Cool. And you seem to be working really, really hard. I know, as an example, when I contact you on something regarding our collaboration with Skolyx and Midas, you can reply like straight away at 4 a.m. in the morning, Indonesian time. I'm a bit worried about you. How much do you work?
Well, I enjoy my work, so I just work whenever I want to work, and I stop when I'm tired, and I just go outside, go to coffee shop with some friends, and then coming back home, and usually I have nothing to do and I can't sleep, and then I just start working again.
Okay. So how many days a week do you work, would you say?
Every day. Sometimes weekend when I don't go outside, I just working. I live alone in this workshop.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part now. When you live in the same area or the same place as the workshop, it's too easy, so to speak, to start working, I guess. But I understand that it's when it's your passion, it's a good thing. So let's start talking about the Indonesian shoe and bootmaking scene in a sort of wider perspective. You work making this type of shoes by hand. In our eyes, you do a relatively advanced craft. So what is the status for shoemakers in Indonesia?
We are all traditional shoemakers and bootmakers who is trying to offer a good quality product with affordable price. We are growing and learning on every pair we made. I don't really learn a lot about other shoemakers because I put my focus on what is in front of me. With my team.
So
and
how
my
would you say is the salary low, medium, or high for the footwear workshop workers in an Indonesian context?
In Indonesian context, if we are talking about other brands, it's I don't know because it's if I ask them, it's kind of sensitive questions, but. For me, if you ask me, I want to give a better life for my team. So I pay myself the same amount with my team. I think it's not really high, but it's good for their life.
Yeah.
That's I have my own mission actually. I want to rise the job of shoemaking, shoemaker in Indonesia, and make shoemaking the job that people choose with passion, not because compulsion just to get a job. Because most of people in here are they don't know what to do. They difficult to get a job, so they just start making shoes, but just a regular shoes. And shoemaking is not a good job in Indonesia lately. So that's what I want to do. I mean, it's good if people are trying to learn about shoemaking, go to shoemaking school. There is no shoemaking school in Indonesia, but I hope I can build them in next year, in couple next years.
Cool. So in Indonesia, there's a lot of makers of fully handmade shoes, mainly workwear boots in this style. Why is this?
I don't really understand why actually, because when I joined the industry, I'm not learning about the history about bootmaking in Indonesia. I just focus myself to learn about what should I do in my work.
Yeah.
I actually asked some friends about the footwear history in Indonesia, but I think I forgot what they say at the time. Yeah. Because every time I always put my focus on how to improve the product and everything, the quality, the details.
Yeah. And it's not only handmade shoes, you also have a lot of like leather craft in general. Is that right?
Yes. I have a lot of friends who is actually making handmade goods, like handmade wallet, handmade bag, handmade belt. Yeah, I have a lot of friends.
Is that even bigger than the footwear making part, so to speak?
Yes, it's bigger than the footwear.
Yeah. And do Indonesian makers of handmade boots and boots and shoes, do they sell much domestically in Indonesia?
Some local brands, yes. We can say Sagara.
Yeah.
Sagara Bootmaker. They sell a lot of their products to local customers.
Yeah, yeah. And how important is the international sales for Indonesian shoe and boot brands?
It's for me. It's really important because people in Indonesia will more interest in the product which is goes international.
Yeah. So the domestic part follows an international success, so to speak.
Yes, because international customer come to our brand looking for our product. That means we are serious in the business.
Yeah. And how is it for you with Winson and Midas? How much do you sell to Indonesian customers?
It's like 90% of my customers are from overseas.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of local customers.
And what would you say the reason for the success of the handmade boots, especially, but also shoes internationally? What's the reason for this?
Because we are trying to make a good products. We are always trying to improve the quality, and international customer really appreciate the process.
Yeah. And you get a lot of shoes for the price, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, apart from the upper stitching, almost all Indonesian brands do everything else by hand. What's the reason for this, that you don't use machines?
For some brands, I think because the machine is really expensive. Like machine for lasting, Goodyear weld machine and sole stitching machine. It's really expensive, but if we have the machine, we can produce more quantity every month. But if it's not balanced between the order, it's not really good for business. I think that's the reason why some of brands are still using hand.
Yeah.
But for me, especially in Winson, I think a lot of small details that I can't get on machine.
You can make better products by hand.
Yeah.
And you are based in Bandung, and this seemed to be sort of the center for the shoemaking scene in Indonesia. How much do you guys from different brands know each other?
Well, we know each other. I know most of local brand in Indonesia. Sometimes we meet and we discuss about materials, about business, and sometimes we just discuss about random topics. We are friends.
And do you help each other out in different ways, or are you sort of competitors in a way?
I'm not sure about others, but if you ask me, I sometimes help them, like how to improve the sulas fitting, and we sometimes share about material source. I don't compete with them because I only compete with myself. That's why I can do improvement on every single pair made in the workshop.
But what's interesting to me, and we talk a bit about it, is that, I mean, basically all Indonesian makers do workwear boots and that type of footwear. I mean, Winson and also Jalan's Rivaya, which is a bit different, but still, you seem to be quite alone with making hand-welted dress shoes. Or are there others as well?
There is some other brands trying to make welted dress shoes actually, but it's not really not a lot of local customer looking for that.
No, you wear workwear boot styles shoes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
And but do you think we will see more dress shoe brands in the future?
I think in couple next years we can see a lot of dress shoes brand from Indonesia, because there is still a lot of piece of cake in the industry.
Yeah. And I mean, the international market, and especially then USA, have a big interest for Indonesian quality footwear nowadays. How do you think this will continue to develop?
There will continue. The interest will continue as long as we are all consistent in the product quality and providing better products, and again improvement, and keep the quality process. And I think more people will be interested in Indonesian brand. But that's challenging for us because in this industry sometimes we need to offer something different, but it's difficult for us to import materials. Yeah. I'm not saying Indonesian leather is not good. Like the leather we use on the collaboration between Midas and Skolyx, it's actually really good.
Yeah, and that's what we hear from our customers as well. They're very impressed with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the option is not a lot from Indonesian tannery.
The good quality material from Indonesia isn't that the big much to choose from, so to speak.
Yeah, but if importing materials is really expensive lately, shipping costs and import tax, sometimes we need to raise our price for that.
Yeah. So that's the main challenge you see, that the costs of sourcing materials and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
And for you and the company with Winson and Midas, what do you see ahead now? What are you looking at for the most recent future now?
Well, for Winson, I want to focus. My plan was to offering traditional bespoke shoes from Indonesia.
Cool.
And I still learning about lace making.
Yeah.
I sometimes accept orders for local customers who is asking for a bespoke. I just do that. I make the shoes, and before I make the final shoes, sometimes it takes up to 7 pairs of trial shoes.
Yeah. But you see it as a learning process for you.
Yes, that is where I learned about lace making.
Yeah. Cool.
For Midas, if we have our collaboration going well every years, and I have more retailers from another country like USA, Australia, or anywhere, I will set higher quality for Midas MTO, and I will just take less order for the MTO, maybe like 5 maximum.
Yeah.
I will put the same attention to detail on the Midas like I do on Winson.
Maybe go more to like say White Cloud and that type of
something like
boots.
that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, Emil Rahmana Putra of Midas and Winson, thank you very much for being part of the Shoegazing podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really happy to be here.
Yeah.
Because I always looking for shoegazing blog when I first time learning about shoes.
I'm happy to hear that.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, cool. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks a lot for listening to this episode of the Shoegazing podcast. Visit shoegazing.com for much more on quality shoes. And to those of you who want to support shoegazing and make it possible for me to continue to produce high-level content, there is a Patreon page where you can contribute with anything from $3 a month. Both big and small contributions are much appreciated. See shoegazing.com for more info on this. The Shoegazing podcast will be back with a new episode in a while, so hear you again soon.